You know, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny because when I was a kid, still back in Italy, I used to want to be like everybody else. And I actually felt different, and I did not like that feeling. I always wanted to fit in, and I did not like feeling different from everybody else. I felt like everybody used to be able to speak better than me, you know, which is kind of natural because my parents used to speak my language at home. So Italian was not my first language. And so I wouldn't learn as well as the actual Italians in my school. And so I'd go to school and I'd feel different. I was more shy because I couldn't even speak and articulate properly. And I hated that feeling. I hated being different. I hated being not properly understood from everybody else, not being able to communicate what I wanted to actually communicate. And growing up, when I was 12, exactly the day after I turned 12, we came here in London. And once again, the same thing happens. My first day of school in here, I did not understand a single word. Single word. The teacher was just speaking. I could not understand a single word. The more time passed, obviously, the more I learned and the more I grew up. And with the time, I've kind of got used to the feeling of being different. And don't get me wrong, as the time went by, I learned more and more English, and I was able to actually speak, and I was able to make friends, and I became more normal with the time. I was able to socialize more with people. But it was already to a point where I was starting to accept that I'm different. And it kept on going that way. Once again, I was actually making friends. I was probably that more social than the average kid. I actually had a lot of friends, randomly after class. The guy over there, I dapped him up. The other guy in the corner, I'm speaking to him. I was pretty familiar with my whole school. Still very hot. It came to a point where I realized that I actually love being different. This one quote that goes like, they'll laugh at you for being different, but you laugh at them because they're all the same. And I was kind of starting to resonate with this. I had passions since I was 13. I wanted to actually achieve a lot. I was using my free time wisely. I was learning. I was trying to grow up social media. I was trying to get into, businesses. Obviously at the time, doing the SMMA and clothing business, stuff like that, testing out here and there. From when I was 13, I was kind of making a little bit of money. And the more time went by, I became 14, 15, 16. Everybody to me looked the same. Everybody was doing the same thing, just hanging out with friends in the weekends, inviting me to here and there. I'm not gonna lie, most of the time I wouldn't go because my parents didn't let me go. But as the time went by and I had the freedom to be able to go, I just didn't want to go myself. Because I didn't see any fun in it. I didn't see any point on doing it. And if you guys are trying to improve yourself, you can resonate with me, you can relate to me. Going out with friends doesn't make any sense. Especially when it's a continuous thing with the outcome of just entertain yourself and try not to have a boring weekend. So what happens from here on? I understood that I want to be different from everybody else, and I was actually glad to be to have grown up with the feeling of being different from everybody else, because now I actually kind of got used to it and I like the feeling. I was glad I was not like everybody else. I was glad because I did not want it to be like everybody else. When I would ask the people around me, what'd you do this morning? What'd you do this tonight? It was always the same exact answers. Everybody. Oh, I studied for the exam, bro. Been grinding on this game, watched this movie. Oh, I went out with my boys to cinemas. Literally went to cinema like 3 times in my whole life. Believe me or not. So what actually happens with the time? I understand there's a blessing being able to be okay with living by yourself, and loneliness is amazing, especially when you're by yourself all the time, but you're not lonely. You're alone but not lonely. I guess I got wrong. I meant being alone is actually being able to being alone is actually amazing. The feeling of loneliness comes here and there when you're alone, but is over. It can be overcome by the feeling of knowing that all that time spent alone is actually being used wisely, and that it will be useful. It will turn useful in the future. Now, a few days ago, I was at home actually, and my sister and my brother and me were alone at home. My parents went somewhere, so my sister's like, "Oh, let's watch a series." And if you guys know me, I absolutely hate movies and series. I never watch that stuff. Never. Maybe here and there once year. No, twice or 3 times a year, I will watch a movie with my family, just to spend the time together. But last time I watched a series, a Netflix or movie alone was over 2 years ago. Over 2 years ago. Last time I played a video game alone, years ago. Because I don't see any point in doing that kind of useless shit. Some people might find this triggering. It doesn't matter, bro. That's just the truth. So she actually goes, let's watch a series together. We're all free, home alone. Let's watch a movie. Let's watch a series. She wanted to watch this one Netflix series, and I was like, oh, we can watch it tomorrow. Maybe as we're having lunch or something. Kind of got some work to do. I was actually working on my coaching program at the moment. Building the program, and she was like, "Oh well, what are you gonna do? Like, well, we just ate. We just had dinner. Just watch it and then go to sleep." Because I said I gotta go to sleep in a bit. And I was like, "No, I just ate. I cannot go to bed now. Gotta let it digest at least 2 hours, and then I can go to sleep." And so, I'm just gonna do some work as I'm waiting. Then she's like, "Oh, just go to sleep now, or like in a few minutes, Yeah, it doesn't take that long to digest. And I was like, it actually does. It depends on how much carbs you eat and how much fat you eat is different. And she was like, oh no, you can digest earlier than that actually. Sometimes it only takes an hour. And I was like, yeah, sure it does, but you guys eat less than me, obviously, because I'm in a bulk, so like I eat hell a lot. I eat way more than my family. I probably eat double or maybe even triple what she eats, right? And by the way, my sister's like 25, I think. She's like 25. And so she studies for masters, and she has a job, but she still finds some time at home, and she wanted to watch this movie. So I was like, that's not how it works, you know. It's easy to be said, and we wasn't arguing. I was just saying that's not how it works. You need to actually. It depends on how much fat you eat, how much carbs you eat. You cannot just tell me, oh, go to sleep and digest fast, and that will not happen out of nowhere, you know. I need time, so we can just watch it tomorrow if you really want to watch it. I'll just sit my computer and work. And then once again, she starts saying, okay, come back by this time tomorrow so we can actually sit down and watch. And I was like, okay, look, we gotta extend that time. That will not work for me because I need to go to the gym. And she was like, okay, then go to the gym early. And it was a whole like domino effect. Okay, so go to the gym early. And I was like, I can't, I need to get 2 meals in. She was like, okay, then go to sleep early. And I was like, okay, I need to get good sleep. I have a wake up time and I have everything organized. And I was like, I just said it once again, it's easier to be said than done. I didn't even bother to go ahead and explain her that whole thing. You need 2 meals. You need to convert the glucose and water into glycogen so you actually have energy in your muscle to push more weight. And since it was legs day, I needed more carbs than the usual, stuff like that. I cannot go to sleep too early or I'm not gonna digest and I'm not gonna get enough sleep. So many things. But I did not bother explaining her the whole process. So in her eyes, it was me just not wanting to watch the series, which to a degree I did not want to. By my eyes, it was like, I've organized everything in my day, and if I don't want to waste time, I just cannot watch at the exact time. But if I organize properly, I can actually sit down and watch it with both of them. So that's when I realized that people will always see you as different because they will never understand you. They will never understand how you think. They will never understand you, your logics, where you're coming from, what you're thinking about. They will never get it. And so the greatest gift you can have as a empathy, mercy for other people is to understand that they have ways to think, and so when they come to a conclusion, they have their own ways to think. So don't always just assume that, oh, they're arrogant, oh, they're bad people. At the same time, understand that the reason why they don't understand you is because they don't get that you also have different ways to think and come to conclusions that they cannot comprehend. Once you can understand this, not only you're coming from a great place of sacrifice, but you're also doing a great favor to both of you. You're not wasting breath into useless arguments. And number 2, at the end of the day, you'll feel better than you would have if you went for an argument. I believe rule number 10 of 48 laws of power, I'm not sure if that's the number, but one of the laws of power says, it's better not to argue with people because at the end of the day, you can use as many words as you want, but you will never know if you've convinced the person. The only thing that can 100% surely convince someone of something that you want them to understand is through action. If words cannot make it work, arguments will only make it worse, because that person not only will have a bad impression on you, whoever that is, but they will also not understand. They might, after the whole argument, just not understand or be like, okay, I get it, you're right, whatever. But they walk off, and in reality, they still don't believe you. So arguing has no point. That's just a side note. But what I'm trying to say is, brother, it's the most normalest thing that you feel different and that you are different from everybody else. Because if that's the case, then great, you don't want to be like everybody else. If you look around, everybody's kind of the same, and I don't mean in a arrogant, cocky way, but everybody's the same. Everybody does the same things, you know. And let's take as an example going to the gym, being in great shape. You might think that is pretty average to be in shape because there are so many gyms around, and then you go to the gym, almost everybody's fit or getting fit, and then you scroll on social media, everybody's fit. But you want to know the truth. I've heard in a video, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if this is the proper statistic, I don't think it's the right one, but around 7.5% of the world is fit. 7.5%. So if in your country there's like what, 1 million people, that'll be, I'm not great at maths, but that'll be probably about 75,000 people. Which is a very small amount compared to 1 million. Now imagine 7 billion. What's 7.5% of 7 billion? Very small, right? It's a few millions probably. So it is very rare to be in shape. And sure, people go to the gym all the time, but you're not considering that most of those people either are not in great shape yet, or they will give up soon, or they're just going there for a few days, maybe motivational, winter rank, new year, new me, or they are just going there, but then they still have habits that keep them in a bad health. Maybe you see them a few times, like going for a cardio, but then they're the same people that go home and eat pizza and Doritos, and they just stuff themselves up, and they're actually unhealthy. So you can only tell someone's really healthy and fit when you see that they have a great body and you see them eating actually healthy, you know. I've been tracking my macros for almost a year, and every day, tracking my macros every day. I probably missed like 3 or 4 days in the past 1 year. And you guys can go check on Instagram. First link, you can go see it. I track my macros every day, and I hit my macros every day. I've never missed a day of not tracking, hitting my macros on the dots for the past, since July. So July, August, September, October, November, December. That's almost 7 months. Almost 7 months of never missing your macros. Imagine that. I go to the gym. I train extremely hard. I'm progressive overloading every day. You know, I leg press 500 pounds with perfect form, full range of motion, 12 reps. And honestly, to me, I don't know anyone my age that does that, but there's probably a few people. And that puts me in a very low percentage. I'm probably a 2% when it comes to someone my age, you know. There's not many people my age that make the same amount of money, that have the same body, that push the same amount of weight, that have the same amount of discipline as me. All these traits, right? And once again, this is not me trying to be cocky, trying to be, you know, how do you say it? Trying to show off, right? I'm just trying to make a point here. And so, what I'm eventually trying to say here is, I am actually different from everybody else, and I love being different. I've realized throughout the years that I'm actually very different. I think differently, I cope differently, I do everything differently. But that's also, at the end of the day, who you really want to be is when you're different. Because if you're following everybody else, trying to be liked, feeling like you are an average person, that's not a good thing. Because if you look not just at the statistics, I can literally say, step out of your house, look around. Do you want to be like most of the people out there? You might say yes, but I'm gonna say honestly, brother, you just have low standards if that's the case. I don't want to be like everybody else. I'm just gonna go straight honest with you. Because I have way different goals, I'm way more ambitious, and I'm pursuing greatness. And I'm pursuing perfection every day. When you pursue perfection, you can catch excellence. And it's funny because nowadays, when you're better than most people, you'll literally be laughed at. You'll literally be made fun of. When probably back in the day, you would be looked up to. You'd probably be looked up to. You know, the men that would go to World War and their wives that would stay home. That was pretty fucking awesome. That was pretty respectable, and you know, I'm sure back in the day there was some cheating, but it wasn't as much as nowadays. Nowadays, what happens when most of the men, not most of them actually, that's me just speaking kind of blindly, but we can say there's a lot more cheating and women being unfaithful, and even men, but you know, I'm talking from a man's side that's actually trying to bring himself to the best version possible. And so when you're looking around a woman, it's very hard. And nowadays, when people are trying to be what I guess in the modern day would be considered as alpha male, sigma male, without being like too cocky, like some people, you know. I'm not talking about those guys that are fully tatted, full of steroids, and they're just jacked, walking around saying, oh, I'm an alpha male, treating everybody else around them like shit. That's not the people I'm talking about. I'm talking about an actual man that has financial freedom, freedom to work whenever, travel whatever, actually has a good wife, and actually has a fuck ton of discipline, and is humble and respectful to everybody. Now, those kind of people are the people that would actually be considered as alpha male, sigma male. But nowadays, when you're trying to be this kind of man, you're kind of laughed at. You're kind of made fun of. And I'll make an example here. I have a cousin, and I don't have problems with her. She's like an year older than me. We actually kind of chill. See her probably once a week. We don't really talk. But it's kind of funny to me because when I just started tracking my macros and weighing my food, obviously I was the only one in between my whole family and like our family, and we do this thing called like we gather together everyone, like my mom and my family and my mom's sisters, and all together we're like 17 people. and we all gather in someone's house once a week. So like this week is our house, next week is, I don't know, one of my auntie's house, and so on, right? We do like each 4 house every week of the month, and so on. It's like a continuous cycle. It's kind of funny. Today's one of those days. I'll be going tonight, but so we were at home, and we're about to have dinner, and everybody kind of saw me differently because I was the only one waiting my food, right? For them, it's like, oh, just put the food in your plate, go eat, sit down with everybody and go eat. And I was like, oh wait, no, wait, let me put the plate, let me put the chicken, okay? And then I'm tracking the macros, I'm putting on my app, and then taking the rice, and they looked at me weird, and my cousin was kind of trying to making fun of it by saying, oh, let me guess, you're gonna track your macros again today? And I was like, yeah, I'll track my macros. And I was tracking my food. Then the next time everybody's about to eat and I come here with my food scale, she's like, oh, not again. I mean, I'm sorry that I'm just healthier than you, more fit than you, better than you, more disciplined than you, and actually have the balls to ignore everybody's opinion and still track my macros because I care about my future and my body. That's the case. People nowadays will try to bring you down because you're trying to go up and they don't like it. People will want to see you do good but not better than them. That's just a fact. Alex Moses said it. He actually said a story where he used to be at the gym, the first gym that he ever started, and people would see his bed at the very corner of the gym. He used to sleep in the gym, and he was getting his first few clients, and everybody was rooting for him. And then the same people, after a few months, when he actually made a few more gyms, bought a few more gyms, actually had a few managers and staff members, and now he was like making way more money. He had a few more gyms, and now he didn't have to sleep in the gym anymore. The same people will come and kind of make fun of him, be like, oh, Bossman is here, I guess you're too good for us now. And he was like, I thought you guys were rooting for me. That's when he realized that people will cheer you up on your way to the top, but they will hate on you when you are at the top, because you're reminded of who they could have been. So I believe that's how it goes. So people cheer you up on your way to the top because you show them who they need to be. You remind them of who they need to be, but they hate on you when you are at the top because you show them who they could have been. And people don't like it. They don't like the sad and raw truth. They don't like it. They cannot accept it. The first phase you need to go through is accepting that everything is your fault, and that the only reason why you're still in the position that you are is because you did not take action. You did not decide to change. So when will you change, brother? Guys, I hope you are different. I hope you feel different. Because that's how I used to feel, and now I'm grateful that that's how you used to feel, because that's how I am and how I want to stay. I'm fucking grateful that I'm not like everybody else. Every day I'm taking extreme action. I'm putting all of my heart into what I'm doing. Waking up early every day. I'm providing value to the world. I'm changing my clients' lives. One of my clients just made fucking 11.7k because he followed my systems. And he actually put in so much work. His life completely changed. He put on a lot of mass. Bro, put on a lot of mass. He was going to the gym. He actually learned how to do everything. His diet got better. He started feeling better. He was sleeping, like before our program, he was sleeping like 3 hours, 4 hours a night. And then at the end, it was like a constant 7 hours, 8 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, while still waking up early. He felt better than ever. He was in a better shape. He made more money. He was more confident. He was more productive after our program. That's because I made such a good program that people did not have to go through what I went through these 2 years of growth, and that they could come to my same position, if not even better, within 2 months instead of 2 years. And I'm absolutely fucking happy that I was able to make that. The only reason I was able to make this program and actually help all these clients change their lives is because I was different and I decided to take action. I decided to wake up at 5 a.m. with only 2 hours of sleep every day, 3 hours of sleep every day, just because I had to put in action and put work into my business. I was the one deciding to go to the gym with an hour and a half of sleep in a Christmas day where everybody else was still sleeping and, celebrating. I was up at 4 a.m., at 5 a.m. working. And still to this day I am. Because I have standards. Because I am different. I am different than everybody. At least my age and the majority of other people. I don't see anyone having the same level of... Bro, trust me, I know no one with the level of commitment as me. No one. It kind of sucks. I want competition. Sure, I see a few people on social media trying very hard, but no one my age that I know personally that is this driven. Kind of sucks at the end of the day to be so different to the point where you can relate to no one. No one has the same level of competence as you. Everybody's kind of the same. Hope you guys had a clear idea of what my journey was and what my journey is like. Because if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling different, that's absolutely fucking normal. That does not mean you're gonna feel like that forever, but it will suck for a period of time. It will suck. That's absolutely normal. What is not normal is to be a little bitch and give up because you feel a little uncomfortable. Just fucking go through it. You want the unusual outcome, you must go through the unusual path. It's not a big surprise. It's uncomfortable. Of course it's uncomfortable. The outcome is so great, almost nobody around you has it. So obviously you have to go through something everybody else doesn't go through. It's not black magic, it's kind of fucking obvious. Guys, I'm about to change fucking everything. I'm about to bring insane value to this channel, to my Instagram, and I'm showing you step by step what I'm doing every single day. So go on the first link, follow me, because we're about to fucking change the whole entire industry, the whole entire self-development market, you can say. We're about to do some crazy shit. I'm about to make the craziest program of all time that will guarantee changes. You don't know how fucking proud I feel when one of my client comes. He's like, bro, I'm in amazing shape. I'm making 2K a month now. It's life-changing money. It's time to level up, bro. It's time to take action and change. Keep grinding.